This is Optimal Finance Daily, 8 Tips to Cope with the Rising Cost of Living by Lisa Harrison of MadMoneyMonster.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. 8 Tips to Cope with the Rising Cost of Living by Lisa Harrison of MadMoneyMonster.com. It's becoming increasingly expensive simply to be alive in the modern world. The cost of everything is rising rapidly at the moment, from petrol and household energy bills to groceries and luxury goods. These sharp price hikes have a myriad of causes, among which are the lingering effects of worldwide issues related to the pandemic and unrest across the globe. And many people are feeling the impact when it comes to their ability to put food on the table and provide for their families. If you're struggling to make ends meet right now, you're not alone. The cost of living in the US has risen by 14% over the past 3 years, and around 71% of Americans claim their paycheck is not enough to match the current levels of inflation. Hopefully, the world will return to some semblance of normal in the near future, and costs will subside to a more manageable level. But what can you do in the meantime to live more comfortably? Fortunately, there are many ways that regular people can manage their finances and reduce their outgoings in order to survive the cost of living crisis. Here are 8 tips to get you started. Number 1, create a budget. One of the most effective ways to take control of your finances and reduce your cost of living is to create a household budget. This can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet, but if you prefer all the bells and whistles, there are numerous apps and software programs related to money management. Your budget should outline all of your household's income, as well as your essential and non-essential outgoings each month. This will give you an idea of where your money's going and help you to work out where to make significant savings. Number 2, cut out unnecessary expenses. When times are tough, you may need to make sacrifices in your life. Is there anything you're spending money on that you could reasonably put on hold? Perhaps you can pause your monthly gym membership and start going for runs and working out at home instead. Maybe you could cancel that streaming service and share a password with a friend. Scrutinize your outgoings and be honest with yourself about what you really need to be paying for. Number 3, find cheaper alternatives. By finding less expensive versions of the things you already spend money on, you can make big savings without really noticing it. Maybe you can switch your regular grocery store for the slightly cheaper one a few miles down the road. Or you can cut out your morning Starbucks and bring your own coffee to work instead. Number 4, look for discounts. It's good practice before making any purchase to see if there are any discounts available. Many online stores offer savings to customers in return for signing up to their email mailing lists. So do your research before parting with your money. Do your grocery shopping at the end of the day, when there are often last-minute price reductions on fresh goods. Soon, you'll get into the habit of being a savvy shopper, and you'll really notice the difference in your bank balance. Number 5, save money on fuel. One of the biggest expenses for most people right now is fuel. With the fighting in Ukraine and restricted access to global oil, the price of fueling your vehicle has skyrocketed in recent months. But instead of filling up at an extortionate price from the most convenient gas station, there are ways to save yourself a great deal of money. For a start, there are numerous websites that allow you to compare the price of fuel at a range of local forecourts. You can pick the cheapest one and obtain petrol as cheaply as possible. It's also effective to avoid filling your tank to its maximum limit, as this serves to make your car heavier and less fuel efficient. Instead, it's best to fill it between 50 and 75% of its capacity. The way in which you drive also impacts the amount of fuel you use, and you should avoid speeding or accelerating rapidly. Drive in a smooth and steady manner, and try to read the road ahead of you to avoid braking suddenly. Turn off your engine when stationary and plan your journeys in advance to avoid heavy traffic. Number 6, reduce your energy bills. Household energy bills are another major expense in people's lives right now. And fortunately, there are many things you can do to lower them. Turning off vampire appliances that drain power even when not in use is a good place to start. Switch off TVs, microwaves, kettles, and phone chargers at the wall, and you'll prevent them from hiking up your utility bills. Rather than instinctively switching on your heating in winter or AC in summer, find alternative ways to stay cool or warm. Number 7, increase your paycheck. Those who earn more will likely struggle less with the rising cost of living, so perhaps there's a way you can increase your paycheck. If you've worked in your job for a long time, you may be able to ask your boss for a pay raise or a promotion. If you've been on the fence about quitting your current employment, it may be worth searching for other jobs where you can earn a little more. And number 8, find additional sources of income. There are many people who supplement their paycheck from their day job with additional side hustles that bring in a significant passive income. If you have a spare room in your home, maybe you could set up an Airbnb account and take in guests for a rental fee. You could also dabble in investments and make money from stocks or cryptocurrency if you believe in its future and fundamentals. Just do your crypto research, because obviously not all cryptocurrencies are created equal. In conclusion, there are so many ways to reduce your outgoings and make a little more money to help you cope with the rising cost of living. Although it may be tough at times, it's important to remember that we're all in this together. You just listened to the post titled 8 Tips to Cope with the Rising Cost of Living by Lisa Harrison of MadMoneyMonster.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. It's a simple concept, but not necessarily an easy concept. Right now, high interest rates have crushed the real estate market. Prices are falling and properties are available at a discount, which means F.I.R.E believes now is the time to expand the F.I.R.E flagship fund's billion-dollar real estate portfolio. You can add the F.I.R.E flagship fund to your portfolio in minutes by visiting fundrise.com/OFD. That's FUNDRISE.com/OFD. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the F.I.R.E flagship fund before investing. This and other information can be found in the fund's prospectus at fundrise.com/OFD. This is a paid advertisement. I think the first step in navigating increasing inflation rates is to simply live below your means as a standard. If you're used to having a healthy gap between your income and expenses in a high inflationary environment, you could change nothing and simply save a little less than you planned. But if you're used to living below your means, you likely have the skill of flexibility. For example, after COVID, the hot yoga studio I like substantially increased the cost of their monthly membership. Rather than just accepting it, I ended up signing up for their trade program, where I cleaned the studio for 2 hours a week in exchange for a free membership. The increased cost pushed me to find a solution that ended up saving me money overall. Similarly, at the grocery store, I noticed that beef prices were through the roof, but pork was much more affordable. So we started eating more pork, which pushed me to try different recipes and stumble upon some family favorites I probably wouldn't have tried otherwise. We can't control how much things cost, but we can control how we respond to it. Knowing that we can be flexible and that we're creative in getting our needs met builds confidence that we can navigate whatever life throws at us. And that'll do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening. And I'll see you tomorrow, as usual, where your optimal life awaits.